Hey, beautiful people, so lovely to be able to have your company. So, here we are. We feel as if we've been tumbling through time, and then we begin to land, and we have arrived at Spring Equinox. And then March 21st, we've got the winter's final new moon rising. Or another way to see that is the first new moon of spring, and this new moon will plunge us through a threshold. Yet right now it is a great time to pause, a great opportunity to pause and work with the dreaming one last time before fully emerging into the awakening. Now that takes me back to that beautiful medicine story and that beautiful experience that we had some time back, where we're standing at the altar just about to light a candle, and there in the doorway could feel this really beautiful presence, this presence that was almost enveloping the space, and these simple but really profound and punchy words that I felt rise up in me. And not only did I feel those words inwardly, I felt them wrap themselves around me. It was like this epiphany, this light bulb moment that had come from those words. And the words simply were, from the dreaming to the awakening. And I remember feeling into that presence, and I could feel it was Bridget. Now, Bridget has been around many years, and yet there was this difference, this deeper layer that had been revealed within her energy, and her standing there very simply on that threshold, neither out of the room, neither fully in the room. She was on the threshold. As Spirit often say, all information is information. And I remember feeling into that and thinking, from the dreaming, yes, the dreaming of winter, you know, the dreaming of winter is this invitation to go inward. Over the winter months we have this invitation to go inward, into the dreaming, into the real depths of who we are, into the blood and bone, into the fibre of who we are, and to really rest and to dream and to become and to alchemize, you know, to really kind of alchemize and compost down all of which no longer serves us. And then as we begin to move into spring, we emerge. You know, this is the blueprint of nature, and this is what she gifts us. This is what she offers us. This is her invitations, you know. And then to feel Bridget standing there in the doorway on the threshold. She was neither in the room, neither out of the room. And I said, womb there. You know, it is this birthing. It is this birthing. I love the way they work. There is this birthing of moving from the dreaming into the awakening. We're birthed. We emerge. Rebirthed. You know, it's profound. You know, but as Spirit often say, is that all information is information. And it was simple, but yet really punchy and really powerful. So, you know, we're moving into this time where, you know, we have this new moon on March the 21st, and depending how we see it, is that, you know, it being the last new moon of the winter or the first new moon of spring, is we've got this opportunity as we kind of really, you know, kind of sink into Spring Equinox, where we have that tide that is fully turned now. You know, the days are equal to light, dark. Light, dark is there. You know, it is Equinox, Spring Equinox, that means equal. We've got equal light and dark. That from here on we get that emerging and awakening building. Mind you, if you look out the window today, you kind of get this feeling of, you know, like it feels more like autumn than it does spring, and that is that expansion and contraction. You've got this dance between the waxing and waning, you know, so you can feel a little bit disorientated, whereas you have these blue sky days and you look out and you've got all the daffodils kind of bursting into life, and they've been there a little while, and you've got, you know, the snowdrops going over, and then you've got the first flush, the first beginnings of the wild garlic beginning to kind of emerge and stir, and then, you know, you're like, yes, and then you start all your spring cleaning and you feel really like as if you've got a spring in your step. And then the following day, you know, you wake up and it's cold, it's raining, it's dark, you get that contraction. So we've got this kind of dance between expansion and contraction, and what we gently want to do is kind of continue to be fluid with that and allow the waxing and wane just to move through us, because we can feel a bit disorientated, you know, and we just got to allow that contraction and expansion, the contraction of winter and the expansion of the awakening of spring. You know, we live in a world and we live in a time where it's all out, it's all outward motion, it's all action, and that can really kind of, you know, throw us into chaos and havoc, you know, because that is not nature's rhythm, and we are a part of nature, even if we try to separate ourselves, which I can never really fully understand. But we live in a construct that absolutely is trying to always pull us into the outer and away from, yet we rely so fully on her. So it's kind of being aware of those tugs and pulses and rhythms and pulls and pushes too. But yeah, there she stood, and as I say, she's been around a very, very long time. It took me many years to really fully, deeply know who she was fully, and I can remember, you know, early on feeling her presence not long after I've been gifted this beautiful opportunity to have a spirit guide portrait done, and talented, very, very talented Sheila from Tribal Angel had painted this beautiful portrait, watercolor first portrait of Bridget, me not knowing, us not knowing who she was, but thereafter me kind of feeling her energy appear and reappear around me. I simply once said, you know, who are you and what are you about? And I could feel this warmth wrap itself around me, and these words simply were, well, Shane, who are you and what are you about? And that is absolutely, you know, the wisdom of our guides. The way our spirit guides work with us is that they constantly are answering a question with a question, and always leading us to the very, very important questions. And I remember, you know, kind of then spending the next few years really looking at that and really understanding, you know, who I am and what am I about. And, you know, as I've said before, is that when I kind of look at Bridget, you know, she is the goddess of hearth, home and flame, that so much of my work is about, you know, bringing us back to who we truly are, to who we fully are, back to the hearth side, back to home, and also, you know, kind of unlocking that fire, that purpose and that passion that sits deep within us. You know, I can really see the partnership between you know, the innate working with me in that way, and Bridget appearing, and I remember that, you know, that beautiful first portrait, and it was only yesterday that I was gifted this wonderful card of how she is revealing herself now. And that's the thing over the years, is she's revealed herself, and the more I've come to know who I am, the more I've seen within her as well, which is another way that our guides work with us. You know, they nurture us into unraveling who we are, into our greatest potential. And that's something I've seen is if she emerges more fully, also revealing more and more of herself. And only yesterday was I given this from Sheila from Tribal Angel, and this is her now, Bridget, revealing herself in what feels to be her full form. How beautiful is that? And there she stood in that doorway, that green cloak above and around her, and stood in the doorway and just gently said, from the dreaming to the awakening. And look at all that spring colour and that fire in her hair and her knowing eyes. Look at those eyes. I quite often find in the portrait that I have above the altar as if those eyes follow me around the room. Those of you that are interested and you would like a copy, a print or a card of Bridget, I will put links within the video description as well. She is the goddess of this time. I have this feeling that she comes in around Imbolc, and then she journeys all the way through to autumn equinox, and there is this feeling of her appearing as the maiden, and her nurturing us across that threshold. So we have this opportunity to work with the dreaming one last time, and I've been kind of pondering over this last week. How can we work with the remnants of the dreaming? And I really felt very clearly from Bridget, that how we can do that is we can brew up a dream tea. So that could be your chamomile tea that you take before bed. Is you brew it up, but stirring the intention, stirring the intention to dream. So on the nights of before and after the new moon, set an intention before bed to remember your dreams. And then what you can do is you can have your bedtime tea, your sleep tea, your chamomile tea, or maybe mugwort, and you can stir in that intention to dream. And then you can focus on a goal, an intention that you're hoping your subconscious can reveal insight into. And then when you wake up in the morning, or you wake up during the night, is to write everything down. Everything that you remember from your dreams, descriptions, feelings, people, situations, no matter if they feel trivial or silly. And then after 3 nights of new moon dream journaling, spend some time reflecting on those themes, those symbols or reoccurring images that have come up over the last 3 nights, and get creative about applying them to your current situation. The thing is, new moons and full really enhance our intuition, so you may be really surprised by the meaning that comes through. I think it is such a beautiful way of moving from the dreaming into the awakening consciously, and it's a potent kind of pause that we have magically and energetically right now, that we can just fall into that consciously with intention and begin to move across that bridge with purpose, and working with the alchemy that is being presented at this time, so that we can dream consciously. And for those that are members Beyond the Hedge, we will be exploring an in-depth video on this, where we can explore the deeper mechanics of it and those deeper layers, and also we will be pulling a oracle card insight. For those of you that are interested around joining our beautiful community that of Beyond the Hedge, we have the last remaining hours. So on the 21st at 10 p.m. we will be gently closing the doors to our community, our intake for new members. So it's 10 p.m. GMT, 9 p.m. CET, 0300 CST, and 11 a.m. NZDT. So a few time zones for those that are working with us. And then we will gently be closing those doors up until towards summer solstice, and we will be reopening those doors on the 7th of June. So I would love to hear how you get on with your dream journaling. You know, what's come to mind, what's began to show itself, what do you feel it's revealing. I would love to hear those medicine stories. That would be really, really beautiful. And you know, just kind of like allow it to take hold in you. Just no matter, as we said, how silly or trivial those things are, you know, a thing to notice. You know, is it daytime, is it nighttime within your dreams, what's in the environment? So much more we will be exploring in that Beyond the Hedge members only video as well. So yeah, would love to hear how you get on, and as always, wishing you a beautiful journey across this threshold, and above all, as always, keep shining.